The human body has amazing abilities to repair itself. Cut your finger, and within a short time, clotting causes the bleeding to stop. But for people who have the rare bleeding disorder known as hemophilia, their blood doesn't clot normally, and coping with the constant danger of uncontrolled bleeding becomes a lifelong battle.
Well, I'm a hemophiliac because I'm missing one specific clotting factor of the clotting process that the liver produces. The clotting process is a really complex and process that takes many different proteins and many different steps, and I'm missing one component.
Body produces less than 1% of the protein that I need in order for my blood to clot. So since I am so lacking in this protein, I'm considered severe, meaning that, you know, it's pretty much as bad as it can get.
People who have normal clotting systems, they may bleed for 5 minutes and then they clot, and that's the end of it. These boys, once they start bleeding, they can't stop the bleeding. And so over time, a lot of blood accumulates in the knee joint, the ankle joint, and once enough accumulates, then the joint is swollen. It's very painful. They can't move the joint, so they can't walk if it's their leg.
Uncontrolled bleeding can threaten the life of a hemophilia patient, so it becomes critical to keep them supplied with the clotting factor they're missing. Dr. Jerry Powell heads up the Hemophilia Treatment Center at UC Davis.
In 1960, a boy born with severe hemophilia could be expected to live only 20 years. His life expectancy was 20 years, which meant that he basically did not finish high school, didn't go to college, had no career, didn't get married, wouldn't have children. In the last 40 years, we have now taken that to where a baby born with hemophilia now can expect to have a normal life expectancy and live essentially a normal quality life. There's essentially no other disease that we treat as doctors that we've made that kind of dramatic progress.
Nate Slack has a healthy appreciation for the advancements that have been made in treating hemophilia. He grew up before many of them became available.
The basic philosophy of treating hemophiliacs back in the old school era was to keep them as sheltered and as basically bubble boys.
When I was learning how to walk, and for a period after, because I had an older sibling who had died before I was born from a head bleed, my parents had me wear a football helmet. So there are pictures of me when I'm 18 months, say to 3 years old, with my big head in an even bigger helmet.
I remember, for instance, I really wanted to skateboard, and my mom was never the person to tell me no. So what she did is she taped every single pillow that she had in the house to every single one of my limbs. I had 2 pillows on my bum. I had pillows wrapped all around my torso, my arms, my legs, and not only that, I was also wearing a helmet. And I go out there, I'm like, who wants to go out in front of their friends and skateboard looking like the Michelin Man?
Nowadays, the life expectancy of a boy with hemophilia is normal, 70 years, 80 years. Assuming that they're getting good care, they're getting their prophylaxis, taking their prophylaxis every other day, they can have an entirely normal lifespan.
Well, there are severe hemophiliacs now that are out playing tackle football. My doctor would have had a heart attack back in the day if I was doing tackle football. Ice hockey, they're leading normal, regular lives.